This is Dummy World.
Oh my God!
Okay, wow. So we're in the same room. Recording.
Wait, are we actually recording right now?
I think so.
Okay. Well, welcome to Dummy World.
Yeah, welcome. We're together for the first time.
For the first time. And it's going to be like this from here on out.
From here on out.
Because Kelly's moving to Portland.
Kelly's moving to Portland. Welcome. Welcome to the Pacific Northwest, where all the serial killers live.
Really? Are you serious about that?
There's a lot of them up here. There was the Green River Killer. There's Ted Bundy.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Lots of woods to hide bodies in.
Great.
Oh my gosh. So let's see. Today we're talking about family or one-on-one cults.
Correct. Yep.
And do you have the definition ready for that?
I do. The definition of a one-on-one or family cult is based in belief in one's partner, parent, or teacher above all else. Generally, an intimate relationship is used to manipulate and control the partner, children, or students who believe the dominant one to have special knowledge or special powers. Often there is severe and prolonged psychological, physical, and sexual abuse. Practices and influence techniques include pleasure, pain syndrome, promoting self-blame, induced dependency, induced fear and insecurity, enforced isolation, battering, and other violent acts, incest, or deprivation.
So it goes kind of hand in hand with like domestic abuse.
That's what I thought when I first read this. It just, because I was initially having a hard time finding like a one-on-one or family cult, because to me it's just like, well, this is just an abusive relationship.
Right.
Not just an abusive relationship, it's an abusive relationship.
Which isn't something that you can really report on as a cult. You know, it's like not a lot of information is given about Joey hitting his wife and how it led up to that kind of a thing.
Right. However, we have found, I think, a couple good examples this week of one-on-one or family cults.
I agree.
And do you want to start, Cyndi?
I would love to start because I am so fucking sick of this asshole.
Okay.
I have been writing down information about R. Kelly and the poor woman he's abused for like 2 weeks now, and I'm so over it. I've watched documentaries, I've read news articles, timelines. What really blows me away is how long he got away with it. For how long?
How long did it end up being?
Oh, he started this in like 91.
Okay. And he's in jail now, right?
Thankfully.
He probably is still doing this from jail, though.
Well,
in a way.
The reason he's in jail on bond is because, or not on bond, he's not allowed bail right now because he's intimidated witnesses before.
What a classy guy.
Oh yeah, he's total class act. Total class act. Okay, so let's get into R. Kelly here. So, on January 8th, 1967, Robert Sylvester Kelly was born in Chicago to Joanne Kelly, a school teacher. He is the third of 4 children and lived with his family in Chicago's I think it's called Outged Gardens housing project. Not much is known about his dad. He kind of left when the kids were really young, and he was out of the picture the whole time. He was raised by a single mom who was really involved in church, and she was like Gladys Knight, and they were the Pips, you know, the kids all sang, everybody sang. It was a very musical household. Robert grew up, he was very sweet, very anxious, very shy. He got bullied in school. He was naturally very gifted with music from a very early age. He learned to play by ear, came up with really great lyrics all on his own, blew people away with his singing when he was a child and the lyrics he came up with. He was so shy, in fact, that he would sing with his back to people because he couldn't look them in the eye. He struggled in school. He was diagnosed with dyslexia, and the learning disability would later become a catalyst for him dropping out of high school his senior year, and as a tool for gaining trust of his victims by asking them to help him with his reading.
Oh, he's so helpless.
I know. It's just that vulnerability, right? At age 7 to 14, Kelly was molested by a relative, as was his younger brother, Carrie. So when his younger brother, Carrie, came to Kelly and asked, you know, like, hey, has this ever happened to you? Is this happening to me? Robert was like, no, this didn't happen to you. You're making it up. You dreamed it. It didn't happen. So Carrie kind of used this as a litmus test, whether or not he should take it to his mom. He decided that no one was going to believe him, so he just stayed quiet about the molestation. But Robert Kelly was always also going through the same thing. You know, a kind of thing can happen with a person when they get molested like this as a child. They kind of starts to confuse sex and power. And in some people's cases, they never want to be a victim again, so they become a perpetrator. And that's really what R. Kelly did. So he drops out of school his senior year and starts pursuing a music career full-time. He became more confident and formed a group, and they entered Natalie Cole's Big Break. And R. Kelly and MGM, which I can't remember what it stands for. It's like something genius. I can't remember. I didn't write it down. They won the grand prize of $100,000.
Wow.
And this was the last time that the group performed because they started arguing about money. So this launches Kelly's career. And in 1990, a music executive named Wayne Williams from Jive Records discovers Kelly singing in a barbecue that summer and signs him to the label. So after he starts to make it big in his early 20s, Kelly is still hanging out at Kenwood High School, picking up girls.
Of course. Why, when he gets older, they stay the same age.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Or at the McDonald's. Going down to the McDonald's with his entourage, and he would have his entourage go around like, yeah, R. Kelly's here. He wants to hang out with you. And that girl's like, oh, you know. Obviously high school girls, though. Dress like high school girls, talk like high school girls, carrying backpacks. Like, obviously little girls. 15 years old.
So he's a pedophile.
He is absolutely a pedophile. It's easier to control a child.
Oh, of course, right.
Than
Makes
it is
sense.
to control an adult.
Right.
Let's see.
Do you think he did all this intentionally, or was it like subconscious, unconsciously?
To go after young girls?
Yes, in the way he did to control and manipulate.
Absolutely intentional.
You think he did it, I want to abuse these women?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just wondering.
Yeah,
I think most abusers do. They act like some people. I feel like it's kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing. I was so abused myself. This is my learned behavior. And it's kind of like bullshit. You live in the world. You know what's good. You know what to do and what not to do.
You know, as an adult, why you don't go after somebody underage.
Right.
You know not to mess with that, but you do it anyways because it gives you a thrill.
Yeah.
And you get to control them, and you will find out as this story progresses what a fucking control freak this guy is.
Okay.
He has to control
everything.
Everybody, everything.
Okay.
So a young woman named Javante Cunningham meets Art Kelly at age 14 when her friend Tiffany meets him at the high school. Javante became a backup singer and dancer for Kelly. She wanted to be a professional singer, and Kelly used this as a way to get her to bring girls back to the studio, her high school friends. She kept hearing rumors about Kelly and the young girls, but being a kid herself, she didn't know any better. So it wasn't long after she started singing for Kelly that Javante witnessed her first sexual act in the studio. Kelly was in the recording room with one of her friends, and her friend was bent over with Kelly behind her, having sex with her in front of everybody.
Nice.
So sexual humiliation is also on the table.
Of course, immediately.
So this happened in 1991 during the recording of the Slow Dance remix. Kelly was 24 and the girl was a high school student.
And people witnessed it and no one did anything.
Nope. And they'll witness it and help him procure young girls for decades, and no one does shit about it because they're little black girls.
Exactly.
If they had been little white girls, this would have been a different story.
I hope the people who helped them also find themselves in jail at some point, too.
They fucking should, man. They fucking should. They're all culpable. So Kelly started calling himself the Pied Piper of R&B and begins hiding in plain sight. Really raunchy music, really raunchy stage performances, letting the crowd grab his genitals.
Right.
You know, all that stuff. So in 1993, 12 Play drops and establishes R. Kelly as the most influential R&B artist of his generation. The album focuses on raw sexuality. Singles include Bump and Grind and Sex Me. 1991, at age 24, Kelly meets Aaliyah. She's 12.
She's only 12 when they met?
12 when they meet.
Wow. Okay.
So when Kelly meets her, she is very shy and tomboyish. Her image would change to be more street and sexy. As her producer, Kelly tapped into her sexuality and used it to sell music. Her big hit, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, is about a young girl trying to get an older man to have sex with her. The saying, age ain't nothing but a number, is something that many of those in Kelly's circle and beyond heard growing up. So it's something very common that you hear like in the barber shop.
Okay.
Like pretty girl would walk by and like, age ain't nothing but a number.
Okay, I hear.
So it's kind of the, black girls, young girls may not be valued like they should be within their communities as well.
Right.
So it's because this is a black community.
Right.
His whole entourage is a black community, and they're helping him procure these young girls. So it's kind of sort of a social issue.
Right.
That's really talked about too in the Surviving R. Kelly docuseries, and how nobody cared and everybody knew.
Right.
There's also a problem within the music industry. Like you've got the Beatles talking about, when she was standing there, she was just 17.
Right.
You've got Jerry Lee Lewis marrying his teenage
13-year-old cousin.
Yeah.
I think Ted Nugent married a teenager.
Yeah. Kiss has a bunch of songs like Christine 16. That's the name of the song. So over and over again, people within Kelly's inner circle see him with underage girls and compromising in sexual manners, but they do and say nothing. Even his high school choir teacher, who knew he was messing around with these high school girls, warned him to stop it, but didn't do anything. Didn't do anything.
I hope they feel like fucking shit.
I don't think
they're still alive, or they don't care. You don't
I don't
think they care.
They knew he was. I told him. They feel like they're cleared.
Well, I guess okay.
Yeah,
whatever. You gotta tell yourself to sleep at night.
Right. So Kelly tricks out the Trax studio in Chicago with beds. Staff and friends say he has girls waiting in darkened rooms. All appeared to be teenagers, and the main recording area had a queen-size bed in the middle of it.
In the middle,
and that's where he would keep girls. He would keep them at the studio. He would have them kind of move in with him,
right?
Keep them at the studio and have the runners bring them food, and that's where they would pretty much live, just to have sex with him whenever he wanted to.
So they're sex slaves.
They're sex slaves.
Okay.
It's a sex cult.
Okay.
Yeah.
In an actual studio that's being paid for by an actual studio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So in 1995, Lizette Martinez is at the mall when she meets Kelly. She's 17. His bodyguard gave Lizette Kelly's phone number. She called Kelly and he took her out for dinner and then back to his studio. He told her that she had a great look and a great voice and that he would help her become great in the music business. The relationship escalated quickly, and soon Kelly had Lizette followed to make sure that she didn't speak to anyone she wasn't supposed to. And if she did, she got hit.
Hit? Like in the face?
Smacked. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She got slapped. Kelly also had a long list of rules he expected his girls to follow. If they didn't, they would punish them physically and mentally. Those who reported his abuse never knew what would set him off. It could be that they didn't fix a meal correctly, or that they made eye contact with someone Kelly didn't want them looking at. These transgressions could get the girls slapped or locked in a room without food for a day, and they lived in constant state of anxiety and fear. So they walked around in eggshells because you never knew what was going to make him mad.
Well, of course, because it's going to change by hour. And I would imagine, too, whoever's in his entourage is reporting back to him on whether or not
absolutely
these girls are behaving.
Absolutely.
And I would imagine that, I don't know, maybe not, but they probably get some girls thrown to them, too.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some sharing going on.
There has to be.
Yeah, I mean, why else? You know what I mean?
Would you do it?
Right, unless you're getting paid really well. But still.
But I bet you're still getting some underage pussy thrown your way as well.
It's just such a lack of respect for young women because you're just fucking them up forever. It all starts with call me daddy.
Call me daddy?
Call me daddy.
Okay.
So Kelly had a way of sending out feelers. If a girl was willing to call him daddy, then she might be open to other suggestions as well. Soon girls would have to ask to use the bathroom if they could eat food. And he would sexually humiliate them by having them have sex in front of other people with him. And then he started videotaping them, or he would dictate, he would direct what he wanted them to do.
Right.
He would have thousands of tapes. I had no idea that 5, maybe 6 tapes have been circulating for decades.
Okay.
Of him clearly having sex with underage girls.
Right.
But nothing's been done.
Right.
All they want to get him on is child pornography, not on statutory rape, not on, you know what I mean? It's just like, that's it, child porn, that's it.
Wait, you mean
he's
still
starring in the tapes with these girls? Like, that's all it is just child porn? That's it?
Like, still to this day? That's what they're hoping just to
there's one other state. I think it's at the end, but they want to get him on prostitution and solicitation.
I think it's a combination of how undervalued Black women are in our society, in addition to how overvalued celebrities are.
Absolutely, especially male celebrities.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of like, a football player or something in high school, rapes a girl, and it was like, well, you shouldn't have been at that party.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like, wait, no, he shouldn't have raped me. Like, he's the quarterback. Yeah. He has a huge future.
And if you report him, you're going to ruin his whole future and career as a football player. Yeah. And now I get to see Cyndi roll her eyes in real time.
So angry. I talked about him being a control freak. So Kelly demanded absolute control of his tours, and not just like, I want this in my room when I get there. It was like the band couldn't fraternize with the dancers. The dancers had to walk in a straight line, not make eye contact with anybody else on the stage. They couldn't talk to the band couldn't talk to the dancers. Nobody could talk to each other.
Right.
So in 1993, Andrea Lee meets R. Kelly. She's 19. She was a dancer in one of his tours. They married in 1996 when Andrea was 22. Kelly was 29. In a surprise wedding. And when I say surprise wedding, as Andrew didn't know she was getting married that day.
Oh, yeah, of course.
He just planned a whole fucking wedding for her.
Oh, how romantic.
And she's like, I think he thought he was being romantic.
But well, I know that's what he thought in his head. Yeah.
Her family wasn't there. There was no guest there. She didn't get to wear a dress. She got married in jeans. But it was a control aspect, too.
Oh, absolutely.
He gets to control who's there. And so after they get married, she's not allowed to make eye contact even with his brothers. So she was this fun-loving, very flamboyant woman, great dancer, who became a housewife that couldn't leave her house anymore.
Couldn't look at anyone.
And couldn't look at anybody. If she wanted to get her hair done, they came to her.
Yeah.
If she wanted to buy new clothes, they came to her.
Yeah.
She was a prisoner in her own home.
Right.
So they end up having 3 kids together. And the whole time, like, because the wedding is kind of secret, nobody really knows he's married. So he's able to get all of these young girls still who thinks he's single.
Okay.
Have no idea that he's married.
Yeah. I don't know if it would have mattered anyway if they knew he was married or not.
It may not have.
Yeah.
But a lot of them were like, I had no idea he was married.
Right.
I just didn't know.
Right.
So one of the ways he reels in Andrea is by asking her to help him with his reading. Mm-hmm. And he was very sweet till they got married. Mm-hmm. And he wanted to hurry up and get married.
Mm-hmm. So he could change. Once he had her locked, he wanted to be able to abuse her so she couldn't leave.
Yeah, and abusers, they can't keep up the facade.
No.
Of being a nice guy, because they're not nice guys.
No. I know, I've seen it.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So they want to hurry up and get married.
Right.
Hurry up and move in with you. Hurry up and get them pregnant. Mm-hmm. So they can't leave.
Yep.
So Sparkle, his stage name, is a singer and musical artist who worked closely with Kelly. She did some backup singing for him, and he kind of launched her R&B career. So she's hanging out over there in like the early 90s at his place for the Chicago Bulls playoff, and there's his whole entourage is there, and she's there, and she keeps hearing this knocking noise, and she's like, what the hell is this knocking noise? And finally she asks, and Kelly like leans back. He's like, what? And the door cracks, and it's Andrea. She's like, can I get some food? He's like, yeah, go get some food. And she's like, you keep your wife locked up? She's like, oh no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And then when they were shooting a video, she's like talking. She's like walking through like, hey, everybody, like excited, like, oh, I'm so excited. I'm going to shoot a video. And no one's talking to her.
Right.
No one's looking at her. And she's like, what the fuck is going on? So she finally asks somebody, it's like, Kelly told us not to talk to you. And she's like, oh, I do not think so. So she went out of her way to talk to everybody and flirt with people to piss him off.
Yeah.
And they were never in a relationship together.
Right.
But she knew how influential he was and how important he was to her career. And she had a 12-year-old niece who was a very good rapper. Introduced her to Kelly.
Okay.
And she ends up being on the P tape.
Oh, okay.
But she never comes forward.
I remember this from the Lifetime show.
Yeah.
I remember Sparkle interview. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
She was crying so hard. I feel like when she was talking
she's estranged from her family now.
The whole situation. Yeah.
They think that she's dragging the family name through the mud. The Lifetime documentary never mentions the girl's name. They never show her picture because she would not go to 2008 trial and testify. That was one of the reasons that he was acquitted.
Right.
Was because they had no proof.
Right.
That this girl was who she was if she was underage, because she would not come forward.
And she was 12 in the video?
She was 14 in the video.
That's
14 or 15.
still really young.
Yeah, really young. So, let's see, where are we?
I guess age ain't nothing but a number, though.
Not to him, it ain't.
Right.
But he's really obsessed with 14-year-olds.
I feel like so is Roman Polanski, 13, 14. It's got to be like that prepubescent, like they're
right on the cusp.
They're right on the cusp.
Yeah. They look womanly, sort of.
Sort of, but childlike, still sort of.
Still very controllable, malleable. Still very malleable. So, Lisa Van Allen met Kelly at age 17 at a video shoot. She was probably the youngest person there, and he immediately scopes in on her.
Of course.
Sends his cousin over and says, hey, Kelly wants to talk to you. So he takes her into his trailer and gets her to take off her clothes and perform oral sex on him, and leaves her in the trailer while he leaves to go shoot the video and keeps coming in to get more oral sex.
Yeah. And
then exchanges phone numbers with her and tells her, like, I really want you to come out to Chicago. And he knows full well this whole time that she's a minor.
Yeah.
She waits a little while before she calls him, and finally does, and she goes out and visits and comes back home a few times and finally just moves in with him and ends up living in the studio. It tracks.
Right.
And this is when he starts videotaping her. She ends up being coerced several times to have sex with another girl with Kelly while they're being videotaped. And then she finds out later on the girl is only 14. And she's like, you had me have sex with a 14-year-old, and I didn't want to do it. And at one point, she starts crying and during one of the videos because she just doesn't want to do it. And Kelly gets pissed and is like, I can't watch this.
Oh, God, you ruined my jerk-off tape with your tears, you little bitch. Get back in your hole.
Exactly.
I'll feed you in a day.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
It's just like, she's like, he didn't care about me. He was mad that I ruined his tape.
Why?
His trophy.
Why would he care about anything else, like anything or anyone but himself?
He's a serial rapist, and they're his fucking trophies.
Right.
But he doesn't think they're rape because he coerces them into it.
Right.
Even though, like, a guy wears you down enough and you have sex with him you don't want to,
that's
rape.
That's rape. Yeah.
Still rape.
Yeah.
Just because it's not violent doesn't mean it's not rape. In 1997, Tiffany Hawkins files a complaint against Kelly alleging intentional sexual battery and sexual harassment in 1991 when she was 15 and Kelly was 24. The suit is settled out of court for $250,000 in January of 1998, shortly after Hawkins gave a 7-hour deposition.
7 hours is so long.
So long. It's all fucking day. It's all day.
And you got a bunch of old lawyers just shooting questions at ya.
Right.
Wow. It's got to be rough.
Then in 2000, Lisa Van Allen is left with a camcorder and some tapes while Kelly is recording. So she starts popping these tapes into the recorder to see what's on them. And she sees herself on there with the 14-year-old and her being peed on in another section of the tape. So she takes the tape and gives it to some artists that she's befriended, and then they leak it. And you could buy this tape of this young girl getting given $20 to get peed on in her face, in her mouth, all over her body before he has sex with her.
It's before he has sex with her. It's so degrading.
That's exactly what it's all about.
He's just doing nothing but debasing these women.
Yeah, he has no respect. He actually is a misogynist. He hates women.
No, he hates women.
He hates them.
Yeah.
So then this thing is like everywhere, and then Sparkle gets brought into the police station to look at this tape because of a feeling that it's the bassist's daughter, which is her niece. And the high school principal gets brought in to look at this tape, and they all positively ID Sparkle's niece because she has the same hairstyle that she had when she was 14, and it is her. But she would never admit that it was her, and her parents said that there was no sexual relationship, so it didn't go any farther than that, even though they have this tape.
Right.
So you could buy this tape at like every flea market in the United States, and it was everywhere. I can't imagine how humiliating that must have been.
And she was underage, though?
She was 14 in the tape. But it was years later.
It blows my mind that they didn't prosecute without her cooperation anyway.
They might now.
Yeah, maybe laws were a little bit different back then.
Because, I mean, he's in jail now.
Right.
So in August 2001, Tracy Sampson files a lawsuit against Kelly, alleging that their sex was illegal under Illinois law because he was in a position of authority over her. The case is reportedly settled out of court in the spring of 2002 for an undisclosed amount. Kelly is indicted on child pornography charges the same year. So, 2001, indicted child pornography.
Right.
February 2002, the Chicago Sun-Times reports that it's received a 26-minute videotape allegedly showing Kelly having sex with minors. The paper reports Chicago police began investigating allegations about Kelly and the same 3 girls earlier that year. At the time, the girl and her parents deny, this is Sparkle's niece, deny having sex with Kelly. The same day the news breaks, Kelly performs at the opening ceremonies for the Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City. On June 5th, same year, 2002, Kelly
is... that the I Believe I Can Fly years? I think so, right?
Possibly.
Yeah, I think that was like the big song for the Olympics.
Well, it was in the 90s, wasn't it? I Believe I Can Fly, because that was for Space Jam. I think that's like in the 90s. It was for Space Jam.
Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
And the cartoons. Okay.
It's like he can fly. So he's indicted in Chicago on 21 counts of child pornography stemming from sex tapes that the Chicago Sun-Times had reported on. They turned them over to the police. Kelly pleads not guilty and is released on $750,000 bail. Then in January of 2003, Kelly is arrested in Miami-Dade, Florida, on 12 additional counts of child pornography, after investigators reported they found photos of him having sex with underage girls. Kelly is released from jail on $12,000 bond. The charges are later dropped after the judge rules that the police did not have a warrant to search Kelly's house.
He really felt like he really must have thought that he was invincible for real.
Absolutely.
For real.
Untouchable.
I mean, there's so much media, photography, and videos shooting around of him, and no one gives a fuck.
No. And his fan base
just keeps growing.
Oh, and they're just like, you go to the hashtag mute R. Kelly.
Yeah.
You will see some vitriol from his fans. Those girls deserved what they got. It's like, okay, so first of all, you're acknowledging that he's having sex with underage girls.
Right.
That's not the problem. They're little Lolitas.
Right.
That's the problem. Their mamas and daddas didn't raise them right.
They seduced R. Kelly.
They got what they deserved.
Right.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. So then a new album drops and Kelly soars to the top of the charts, Chocolate Factory in 2003, and it's the release of the single Ignition remix, and it sells 538,000 copies its first week.
Wow.
They just don't give a shit.
No.
He's still signed to a record label, by the way.
That's what I mean. He has a studio. He's signed to a record label. People are supporting him. They're enabling his behavior.
They can't afford to lose him. He's a cash cow.
Oh, that's such
And they
bullshit.
say as much.
Oh, that's such bullshit.
They say as much. So February 2004, the Chicago Cook County prosecutors drop 7 of the 21 child pornography charges against Kelly in a routine pretrial hearing. So they just drop some. I guess they always do that. The remaining 14 counts include soliciting a minor to appear in a pornographic video. A PR firm hired by Kelly's camp stated that the decision to drop 7 of the charges was due to lack of evidence by the prosecutions. No, it's just routine. In November of 2004, rapper Jay-Z and concert promoter Jeff Sharp fire from their Superstar 40 city tour, Best of Both Worlds, they fire R. Kelly.
Okay, good.
For unpredictable behavior.
Oh, that's it?
Not for anything bad. Jay-Z, fuck you too. Sorry,
right.
But fuck you too.
At first, for a second, I was like, you go Jay-Z, but okay.
So Kelly gets up on stage and he says that he sees some people waving guns around. So they stop the concert, search everybody there. This is Madison Square Garden, by the way. Huge venue.
Right.
No guns are found. So one of Jay-Z's entourage is pissed at Kelly for stopping the concert for no reason and pepper sprays him and 3 of his bodyguards. And the 4 of them get sent to the hospital for, getting treatment for this. And then they fire R. Kelly.
Okay, well, at least he got, like, a little
At least he got
bit...
pepper sprayed, right?
Yeah, and then got fired.
And then got fired.
Because that is, like, a little bit of a one, too. I'm sure that hurt his ego just a little bit.
Well, then he sues for $90 million.
$90 million.
$90 million as a breach of contract, and it doesn't go anywhere.
Okay, good.
So in September of 2005, Kelly's wife, Andrea, sought an order of protection from her husband, accusing Kelly of hitting her when she asked for a divorce. The couple reconciled but lived in separate homes.
Okay.
Then in February of 2006, R. Kelly's brother, Kerry Kelly, has said that his brother offered him $50,000 and a record deal if he would say he was the person on the videotape. The infamous P tape.
Did he take it?
No.
Okay.
He said, go fuck yourself.
Okay, yeah.
He's like, no.
$50,000. I'm going to end up
I'm
going
not
to
gonna
jail.
go to jail.
For only $50,000. $50 million and we'll talk, depending on what the sentencing is.
Right? At least my family will be taken care of.
If I had to I could probably do a year in jail if I came out knowing $50 million is waiting for me.
Maybe.
I think I could.
Jail. I don't want to go into jail being a child rapist.
Oh, I just mean me, Kelly. If someone said, Kelly, I'm going to put you in jail tomorrow for 1 year, and when you get out, you'll have $50 million. I'd be like, okay, I could probably do that.
I bet you could actually.
I bet I could actually, yeah.
I have faith in you.
I do too.
Let's see. On May 29th, 2007, Kelly releases Double Up, which peaks at #1 on the Billboard album charts. In August of 2007, Chicago Judge Vincent Gaham, we'll say that, rules that jurors, that's right? Is that the word? Like the jury? Jurors.
Jurors. I was like, whoa.
What the hell's a juror? I was like, how do I say that word?
Juror.
I'm so sorry if I've offended anybody. It was completely unintentional. That that the jury and the public
there you go.
will see the sex tape in open court. And this is both the defense and the prosecution's like, ooh, we don't think that should happen. Because it's really graphic.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, we're going to show it to everybody. We're going to have it in open court. We're just going to show the video. But it doesn't do any good because, he gets acquitted. So late in September, without warning or reason, the judge postpones Kelly's trial until 2008, adding an additional year to an already 5-year delay. Okay. And in that 5 years delay, the judge fell off of a ladder and got hurt and had to recuperate. One of the lawyers, I can't remember which side it was on, had a baby and was on leave for a year. R. Kelly had a burst appendix and had to go get emergency surgery. So there was a bunch of shit that happened. It wasn't just like, at first when I was reading it, I was like, what is this guy like on this guy's side? Like he lets him out of jail, on a really low bail. And what is going on here? Like, is he favoring this guy? But it really wasn't that. Kelly's child pornography trial finally begins in May 8th, 2008. The girl on the tape refuses to testify, and the jurors say that they can't be sure of her identity. On June 13th, after less than a couple of hours of deliberation, Kelly's acquitted on all accounts. During his trial, camps of young women congregate outside the courthouse to show their support for their favorite R&B singer. Kelly takes the opportunity to engage a 14-year-old girl who he invites back to his house and tells her to bring a bathing suit.
He's such a... douchebag isn't the right word. What's the word?
At his fucking trial.
No, I know, at his trial, like outside of the courthouse.
So brazen.
But he's untouchable. Up to this point, he's been untouchable. He's
fucking untouchable.
And when you keep doing this, and I'm sure he gets the thrill, like picking up, doing that right outside of the courthouse probably was very exciting for him.
Oh, absolutely. It's like returning to the scene of a crime.
Oh, yeah, totally. He probably got hard, Right, because he did it right under everyone's nose.
So I totally, for some reason, skipped over the whole marriage to Aaliyah. I don't know how that happened.
Oh, I was going to ask you earlier.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Forgot.
I missed it on my notes. But so they get married, I think it's like 97. She's 15.
Right.
He's 27. And since she's underage, they're in Cook County, so they're in Chicago. They're in Illinois still. His manager and personal assistant falsifies documents to make her look 18 so they can get married. But there's like a little pregnancy scare.
Right.
And then 2 months later, it's annulled because she's underage.
Yeah.
And then years later, she contacts the Cook County courthouse and asks for those records to be expunged. She wants them gone completely. She wants no record of her being married to R. Kelly ever.
Right.
And R. Kelly refuses to speak about it ever again, out of respect for her mother who was sick and her dad who has passed.
And her who has passed as well, I guess.
Yes. Well, at the time she wasn't.
Oh, at the time she wasn't.
Dead yet.
Okay, I see.
No, she wasn't dead yet. From 2009 to 2017, Kelly's marriage to Andrea ends in divorce. That's in 2009, after 11 years of marriage. Then in June of 2009, the Chicago Sun-Times reports Kelly owes the IRS more than $4 million in back taxes. Then in 2013, Kelly's custom-built $5 million mansion sells for $950,000 in a foreclosure auction. I'm like, good.
Yeah.
Good for you, motherfucker.
See, you know, he's going to do all these sex crimes, and then what they're going to nail him on is, like, tax evasion.
I know. It's like Al Capone.
I know, because the IRS, like, they
do not take your shit.
No, they don't.
Will take your money, but they will not take your shit.
No.
However, Kelly sees a repeat musical success. Between 2009 and 2017, he releases 3 more albums, all of which are Billboard chart-topping 200 records, whatever the fuck that label would be. I don't even care about popular music. I really don't like R&B either.
I don't either.
It's not my thing.
And like my friend Amanda, shout out to Amanda who just started listening to us this week. Hi Amanda.
Thanks.
She loves her some R&B so much. LL Cool J, isn't that right, Mandy Pants? Love you.
Ladies love Cool Jason. LL Cool J.
James. Ladies love Cool James.
Oh, why does someone tell me it's Jason?
I always thought it was James.
I don't know.
We'll check later and verify.
Sure. Mandy, let us know.
Mandy, you would know.
You let us know. And he's also invited to perform at major events like Whitney Houston's Memorial, where he sang I Believe I Can Fly. He's going to ride that one as long as he can. 2010 World Cup, 2011 Grammy Gala, and Coachella in 2013. He also releases his autobiography in 2012. Who gives a shit? Who cares? Who cares?
People seem to care, though, don't you think?
I know they really do. I don't care.
Oh, I would never. This is all the biography I need on R. Kelly.
This one's going to be your favorite. Also in 2012, Kelly announces he's reviving his cult classic video series, Trapped in the Closet.
No, yeah, I remember that.
There is talk of it becoming a Broadway musical.
I think you were the one who actually showed me that.
I've watched it. I was like, it's a cult classic? I mean, I guess you can hate watch it.
It's considered a cult classic now?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. I couldn't even get through it.
I put in my notes, what?
Because every time I only think about the South Park episode.
I know. I'm in the closet.
Yeah,
I'm
and Tom
Cruise
too. Yeah, Nicole Kidman. Come out of the closet, Tom. It's okay.
All right, where am I? So in July 2017, the shit starts to get real, and BuzzFeed releases their expose, which is a report that parents claim that Kelly has brainwashed their daughters and kept them in abusive, cult-like relationships. It is reported that Kelly lives with 6 women and controls their every move, including when they can eat, how they dress, when they use the bathroom, who they talk to, and how they engage in sex while he's making these videos. So he directs everything.
I also heard when he keeps them locked up in a studio, they'll just put a bucket in the room with them so that they can pee.
Yep. Or shit.
Yeah. I'd hold it because I'd just hold it.
Oh, I would shit and then just paint the walls.
But you gotta live in that room with your shit all over the walls.
Oh, but the thing is, like, that one's fucking crazy. Get rid of the crazy one.
Get rid of the crazy one.
Get rid of the crazy one.
I'll
be like, I'm walking free, motherfuckers. I'm out of here. I had to live with my shit on me like war paint for 2 days, but it was really
worth it.
It was fucking worth it.
I'd rather it be my own shit than someone else's shit, quite honestly.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I gag the whole time.
I would anyway, even with my own shit. For our listeners, Cyndi just looked like she was putting shit under her eyes like you do.
War paint, man.
Play football, war paint.
Yeah. War paint. Whoosh. This is war. War.
I'm gagging just thinking about it.
I'm sorry. There's a video released after this BuzzFeed expose comes out, and on it is Jocelyn Savage, who claims that she and Kelly are in a consensual relationship. Her parents maintain that she is being held against her will and has been brainwashed. So in this video, she looks nothing like she normally does. She has giant breasts now.
Okay.
Obviously breast implants. And you can hear there's someone behind her, like off camera, coaching her.
Okay.
And she's very stilted in how she's talking.
Right.
She seems scared to me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like nervous.
Yeah.
Like she's like doing like a Skype thing where people are, it's like being recorded. It's really weird. It's really weird. Like, is that your tummy? Are you hungry? I'll edit that out, but not really. Follow. I'm over here squeaking in a chair.
I didn't fart. That wasn't a fart.
I don't care if you fart.
But
you
it was
totally
just
fart.
my belly, but it's not because I'm hungry. It's because I like feel like I'm like, I gotta take a nervous shit now too.
I took one before I came over.
I was fine.
I feel like I'm giving a report. I'm like, I have saucers of sweat.
So that's what's going on with my tummy right now. I'm trying not to shit myself. All that talk about rubbing shit all over ourselves, I'm about to shit my pants.
Do you want to take a break?
No. Let's power through.
Oh my God. Following the BuzzFeed report, activists launched the Mute R. Kelly movement, calling for boycotts of his music. In April of 2018, the Time's Up campaign, which helps victims in the aftermath of sexual abuse, joined the Mute R. Kelly social media campaign and issued a statement urging further investigation into Kelly's behavior. Amidst protests in his native Chicago, his concert at the University of Illinois is canceled. Kelly's camp responds, "We will vigorously resist the public lynching of a black man who has made extraordinary contributions to our culture."
Oh my God, go fuck yourself. Yeah, I mean, right. Maybe he should just go to prison and get fucked in his ass by...
I think
he's in solitary, we know, but...
Oh, absolutely.
Because that would be a trophy kill for anyone who's doing life in jail.
I know, just like a little shank, too. Boop! And like a side, that would be a trophy, too, right?
Right, yeah.
I shanked R. Kelly. He
shanked R.
lived,
Kelly.
but I shanked him. We can shank him again.
This is my shank.
Alive.
You frame it, like, this shanked R. Kelly.
Guards come in, what's that? It's like, oh, that's the... I
That's
shanked
the
R. Kelly with
shank.
that. That's R. Kelly shanked. Like, go ahead and keep it. That's fine.
They take let me get a picture first.
Yeah, I'll selfie with it.
Yeah.
So in May 2018, Spotify threw their hat into the ring by removing R. Kelly's music from playlists, citing its new policy on hate content and hateful conduct. Spotify is joined by Apple and Pandora in not promoting Kelly's music. But let's be clear, they did not remove his music from their streaming sites. You can still search for it. It's just not on playlists and isn't recommended anymore.
Oh, really? That's so nice of them to
they don't want to
do
lose
something.
The guy, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's like, oh, good stance there, guys.
Yeah,
way to be
hard line on that.
Let's see. Later that same month, 20-year-old Faith Rogers files suit against Kelly for sexual battery, mental and verbal abuse, and knowingly transmitting her herpes during their year-long relationship. She later reported that Kelly tried to silence her through threats and intimidations by sending letters to her lawyer, where he would reveal embarrassing details about their sexual history if she didn't drop the suit. In January of 2019, Lifetime airs their documentary, Surviving R. Kelly, which revisits old allegations against the singer and brought new ones to light. A year earlier, the BBC aired R. Kelly's Sex, Girls, and Videotapes that alleged that the singer held women against their will and ran a sex cult. Cook County State Attorney Kim Fox held a press conference earlier this year after her office received a high volume of calls about allegations after the Lifetime documentary. She pleaded for accusers to come forward. Fox stated that in order for an investigation to be conducted, they needed victims and witnesses to come forward. Pretty hard when you sign a non-disclosure agreement.
Right.
So all of that came out, like the P-take comes out, and then people start looking into it, and they realize that there's a bunch of settlements that have been made, that all these non-disclosure agreements have been signed so that the girls can never come forward again.
Right.
So they have to repay that money.
Right.
So it's effectively, like, that's how sexual harassment suits are dealt with or have been dealt with in the past. And that's why these perpetrators get to keep going and doing whatever they're doing.
That's what happened to Larry Nassar and one of, I forget which of the gymnasts on the U.S. team. She signed a non-disclosure agreement, and so she wasn't able to give a victim impact statement at his sentencing, or she would have been fined like $100,000 or something.
Yeah.
And then that's when Chrissy Teigen tweeted, "I'll pay your fine for you if you want
Love
to.
Chrissy Teigen.
If you want to give a statement, I'll pay your fine." Yeah, so sweet.
Well, that's why Harvey Weinstein got away with it for so long. Donald Trump. I mean,
Donald Trump's still getting away with it. Are you kidding me?
I know.
Grab him by the pussy and no one seems to give a shit?
No, like, yeah, grab him by the pussy.
Grab him by the pussy, yeah.
Let's see, in 2019, Lady Gaga apologizes for her 2013 duet with R. Kelly and stated that she intended to remove the song Do What You Want With My Body from streaming services. At the time of its release, the collaboration was criticized due to sexual misconduct allegations against Kelly, as well as for the sexually charged performance they did on Saturday Night Live and the American Music Awards in 2013. So, of course, I had to look it up and watch it.
Yeah, I didn't know about this.
And she's like a secretary
Gaga
on
is?
stage, and she's like, music awards, please hold. Music awards, please hold. Music awards. One moment, please. Mr. President, what do you want for lunch? And Kelly's like, you know what I want for lunch, baby? I want your body. And she's like, oh, I'll be right there. So she walks over in her tiny little skirt over to him in his, like, Oval Office. And I'm like, dude, okay, so first of all, you're the secretary and he's the president.
Yeah, Gaga.
Like, what is that saying? Like, he's in a power position.
Uh-huh.
He's exploiting you sexually. Like,
Right.
It's not even funny.
Right. It's
Like,
not.
it might have been funny in the 1970s, but it's not funny anymore.
In 2013.
It's not even sexy.
I'm surprised that she would agree to do something like that.
You know what? No, man. I lost a little more respect for her
Yeah.
after watching that. I was like, dude, you knew.
You knew.
The allegations were there. They've been there since 2001.
And you know that's not a good message to send to young girls.
It's not a good message to send to the music business either. That is so ripe with this kind of misconduct.
It's just perpetrating. Oh, yep, that's exactly how it is.
So, the Nielsen Music reported that streaming numbers for Kelly's nearly doubled after the Lifetime documentary. People probably wanted to know, like, who's R. Kelly?
Oh, yeah, right. Or they're, like, young and,
They just, R. Kelly averaged more than just under 1 million streams in the last week of 2018.
Really?
In the last week.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed.
I know, right?
Stop it. Stop listening to him.
I know. And then in January, he averaged more than 1.5 million streams in 3 fucking days, January 3rd to January 6th.
Really?
Yeah, because of the Lifetime thing. Everybody wanted to listen to his music. And I think fans were doubling down. So February of 2019, attorney Michael Envenati gave Chicago prosecutors a new video of Kelly having sex with another underage girl. In the tape, Envenati claims that Kelly performs and receives, this is so graphic, cover your ears or fast forward 10 seconds if you do not want to hear this, receives oral sex, pees on the girl's anus, vagina, right breast, and face. Kelly then penetrates the girl vaginally, anally, chokes her, and repeatedly refers to her as 14. Let me see that 14-year-old pussy. Show me your 14-year-old pussy. And she's coached to say that she's 14 over and over again. So now, if age is a kink for you, that's fine. Get a woman who's not that age and have
her say she's 14.
Yeah, have her put ponytails in, pay her
Schoolgirl
a living
outfit.
wage.
Right.
You know what I mean? Find someone who likes doing that sort of thing.
Right.
But for somebody who is under fire for sleeping with 14-year-old girls, to have him get a young girl who obviously does not look of age in a video and have her repeat how old she is over and over again is fucking insane to me.
Almost like he wanted to get busted.
I just think he can't help himself.
Can't help himself, and obviously he's gotten away with everything
so
up
long.
to this point. Yeah.
So this video comes out, and a few weeks later, Kelly is charged with 10 counts of aggravated sexual abuse. He is being held without bail until his 2020 court date is set, while his defense argued that Kelly isn't a flight risk due to monetary solvency issues, and he doesn't possess a current passport. The Brooklyn federal judge, Ann Donnelly, said, I don't give a shit. His finances are murky. He could have offshore money. I don't know about.
Totally.
And he intimidates witnesses.
Yeah.
Bitch is staying in jail.
Good.
I know. Finally. Get a woman judge in there. She'd be like,
finally.
I don't think so.
Yeah, finally.
I don't think so. Additionally, Kelly has been charged in Minnesota for prosecution and solicitation.
Okay.
So,
in Minnesota as well.
Minnesota.
Okay. Should be charged in all 50 states.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he would go on tour, he would go cruise the mall for girls.
Of course.
The last time I went to the mall to, like, look for dudes, I was in high school.
Yeah, or even younger, practically.
Yeah.
Middle school.
Yeah.
Right.
Ugh.
But that's where you find them.
That's R. Kelly.
And
Gross.
Lifetime is doing a part 2 of their series that they're releasing. It'll be released by the time this episode is out.
Okay.
So if anyone wants to follow up.
Yeah.
That was disgusting.
I know. It's absolutely disgusting.
Mine's really disgusting, too. This is just going to be a tough episode, people.
I might have to take another sip of schnapps.
Oh, please do. Please do.
This is your new Best Friends podcast, a weekly podcast that caters to you, the listener.
Okay, but I mean, it's not that far-fetched to try and break change with a homeless guy. Like,
yeah, but only coins, no bills.
No, that's rude.
If you're looking for a podcast that's outside the box,
So you would just let the ugly babies burn.
then check us out.
So do girls shave above the knees?
No. That's, according to my grandmother, that's what prostitutes do. So no, but I do.
Okay, so mine is an attempted family cult.
Okay.
I'm going to say it didn't work. So mine that I picked is the kidnapping of Elizabeth Smart. And I just want to say that she is an amazing 32-year-old woman, child safety advocate.
Oh, great.
That's Elizabeth Smart.
Great.
So Elizabeth Smart was kidnapped by Brian David Mitchell, the self-proclaimed prophet of God, who kidnapped 14-year-old Elizabeth Smart from a suburb of Salt Lake City, Utah, June 5th, 2002, and held her for 9 months until March 12th, 2003.
Oh, she was there for 9 months?
9 months.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah, 9 months.
Oh.
At the time of the kidnapping, Mitchell was going by the name Emmanuel and Davidic King, and he wore white robes and a beard as a shout out to Jesus. And he was married to a woman named Wanda Barzy, and she was going by the name Hepzibah, but I also read that she went by the name God Adorneth.
Okay.
I don't know.
Sure.
If you didn't guess by the location, Mitchell's beliefs were centered around the Church of Latter-day Saints.
Mm-hmm.
So Mitchell believed it was his mission on earth to restore the fundamental values of the Mormon Church. He had written a manuscript that were revelations he received from God. It was called the Book of Emmanuel David Isaiah. His wife testified at trial that Mitchell was instructed to take 350 wives. Elizabeth Smart was the first wife, in addition to his actual legal wife, obviously. But Mitchell told Barzy that she would be the mother of Zion. So on the night of June 5th, 2002, Mitchell went to the Smart house, having been there before. The Smart family offered work to people who panhandled around SLC, and Mitchell was one of those people they offered work to. So he knew where their house was. They had an open kitchen window, and he cut the screen and went in their house sometime in the middle of the night.
Did he have a connection with the family before then?
Nope, he had only just been at their house just like one time for a few hours to do yard work or something like that.
Okay.
So Elizabeth Smart shared a room with her younger sister, Mary Catherine, who was 9. Elizabeth was 14 at the time. Mary Catherine was awakened when Mitchell came in the room, but she pretended to be asleep. And she saw that he had a knife and that Elizabeth left with him. So Smart wrote in her book that he threatened to kill her and her family if she didn't go with him. And then I heard an interview of hers, and she said that she assumed in order for him to make it all the way through her house and up to her room undisturbed, that he had probably already killed someone in the house.
Oh, geez.
Which I think that's pretty logical thinking. Mm-hmm. So she left because she was trying to protect her little sister.
Okay.
So Mitchell took Smart, walked out of their house, and I think their house kind of backed up to like a mountain. And he took her walking up this mountain, I think it was for hours, to a camp that he had in some woods outside of Salt Lake City, where his wife was waiting. So Smart says Barzy hugged her, but it wasn't a warm embrace. And Mitchell had first seen Smart several months before when he spent a couple hours doing work at her house. And they spent those several months planning her kidnapping.
Creepy.
Or as they call that, preparing for her arrival. So on the way to the camp, Mitchell told Smart that his wife was waiting. And she said that she was a little hopeful to have another female around. And she assumed that she was being kidnapped to be the daughter they never had. Again, very logical thinking. But as we know, Cyndi, bitches be crazy.
They sure do.
And Smart says Barzy looked evil from the first time she saw her. So Smart testified at trial that Barzy washed Smart's feet and had her change into a robe-type garment. Mitchell performed a ceremony to marry them. He told Smart that she was to be the first of several virgin brides he was planning to kidnap in his battle as being the chosen angel to fight the Antichrist who would be arriving on Earth in 7 years. After the wedding, Mitchell told Smart it was time to consummate their marriage.
Oh, no.
And after having to be explained what that meant, she started crying out that she was still a child and hadn't even started her period yet. So Mitchell told Elizabeth if she ever screamed again that he would kill her, and if she didn't think she could be quiet, he would duct tape her mouth. So she decided to be quiet.
No.
Smart says in that moment, she decided that no matter what it took to survive, she was going to do it. She would do whatever was in her power to survive. She said that decision helped her through, quote, a lot, 9 months of a lot. Mitchell consulted Barzy on what to do about Smart's age, and she told him to go ahead with the rape.
Oh, God.
And Mitchell raped Smart every single day after that, sometimes multiple times a day for 9 months.
The fuck, man?
And his wife always watched.
Oh!
So I read an interview that between Smart and Gayle King. And Gayle King said, I can't believe that you didn't get pregnant. Which was a thought of mine, too, because you look at, like, J.C. Dugard was another kidnapping victim.
Yeah.
She had 2 kids by her captor. But Smart wasn't lying. She hadn't gone through puberty yet. So
How old was she again?
14, which is on the older side.
Yeah, so she was just a late bloomer, luckily.
Luckily, she was a late bloomer.
Fuck, luckily.
So let's learn about the kidnappers before we go any further.
Yes, let's.
Let's
learn about these gems of humanity.
So Brian David Mitchell, born October 18th, 1953 in Salt Lake City, Utah. The information I have about him comes from an article called Brian David Mitchell and the Kidnapping of Elizabeth Smart, a self-proclaimed angel or a pedophile, by Charles Montaldo.
Pedophile.
His family is described by neighbors as odd but decent people. Mitchell was arrested when he was 16 for exposing himself to a child and sent to juvie.
Oh, so it started young.
Mm-hmm. He marries his first wife at 19. I think she was around 16. And they have 2 kids and divorce by the time he's 21 or 22. He ends up in New Hampshire and spends 2 years there in a Hare Krishna commune.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. He comes back to SLC when he's around 27 and quits drinking and using drugs and becomes active in the LDS church.
So he wasn't raised Mormon?
Actually, that's a good question. I think that they were, but they weren't so fundamental. Like,
okay.
When he comes back, his brother also, I believe, had problems with addiction, and he had become really active in the church and became sober. And so I think Mitchell followed his brother's path and became a little fundamental about it.
I mean, like, if he's a guy that follows the LDS, religion, and he wants more than one wife, and the FDLS won't take him, LDS guys, the fundamental ones that have more than one wife, you're a little far out there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. He's a way far out there.
Mm-hmm.
He marries a woman who already has 3 children, and together they have 2 more. So with his 2 other kids, they have 7 children in their house.
Good Lord. Okay.
During their marriage, his wife accused him of being abusive and controlling and obsessed with Satan, which Mitchell claimed he was just trying to learn about his enemy. His wife also called authorities, stating that she believed Mitchell was sexually abusing their 3-year-old son.
Oh, God, okay.
There wasn't sufficient proof and no charges were brought. Then his wife's daughter accused Mitchell of sexually abusing her for 4 years, and his wife went to the LDS leaders and they told her to drop it.
Fuck those guys.
Fuck those guys. So they divorce, and he marries Wanda Barzy on the day that his divorce is final.
I hope that she also divorced the church.
Probably not, though. Who knows?
Because fuck those guys.
Because fuck those guys. I hope so. I really hope so. So, Wanda Barzy is 7 years older than Mitchell, and she already has 6 children of her own. 3 move in with them, but move out after Mitchell woke up the family one night to say angels spoke to him. This is when Mitchell's belief system about him being a prophet of God started to form. And one of Barzy's children describes her as a monster who made her daughter eat her pet rabbit one night for dinner.
Oh my God.
I know.
That's awful.
Awful.
Oh, it's like, what is the movie?
Fatal Attraction.
Thank you.
But all they did was boil the bunny. She had to eat it. So I was sitting here thinking, can you imagine if someone made you eat your pet?
No.
The level of torture that must be. Oh, God, it's so gross. So Mitchell and Barzy now leave the LDS church. And I'm assuming they're home because they start panhandling around SLC, and they live that way for several years until they kidnap Smart.
Wow.
So back to the kidnapping. They stayed at the encampment for about 3 months. Smart was shackled to a tree and told to choose a new name, and I believe she chose Esther. And but we know choosing new names or being given new names is modus operandi numero uno for mind control and cult leader types.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Call me daddy.
Call me daddy. So Mitchell forces Elizabeth to drink and take drugs and to look at porno magazines. They would
so weird. It's just so weird.
He gave her like drugs and alcohol to lower her inhibitions. He was trying to like get her on board, I think, with like being attracted to him and stuff. Ugh. They would starve her and then feed her garbage. And Mitchell threatened to kill her and her family every single day. And this threat was the main mode of control that he used over her. So they did take a few excursions into Salt Lake City, where Mitchell was known as Jesus Man by the locals. I guess just the nickname for the crazy homeless guy wandering around. The 3 all wore white robes, but the 2 women were always shrouded. And there was actually an incident where a police officer talked to Mitchell at a library because their unusual appearance had caused a stir. And the detective wanted Smart to remove her veil to see if she was Elizabeth Smart.
Oh, wow.
And Mitchell told the officer that the women were his wife and daughter, and their religion forbade them from speaking in public, and the officer left.
Oh,
I bet he feels like a fucking asshole. Because this was like 3 months into her kidnapping. So she had 6 more months to go. The 3 also went to a rave party one night in Salt Lake City, and there's actually pictures of Smart from that party.
Wow.
During her captivity.
Wow.
Shrouded. But you can see it's her because of her eyes. So the 3 then moved to San Diego in September, where they maintain the same encampment type situation. And in February, Mitchell was arrested for breaking into a church and spends a few days in jail over the incident. And then they go back to Utah in March. So the October before, just after Mitchell moves them to California, Smart's sister Mary Catherine remembered that she had heard the voice of the man who had abducted Elizabeth. His name was Emmanuel, and he had done work at the house. The police were cautious because Emmanuel had only been at the Smart house a few hours several months before, but they did a police composite sketch of Emmanuel, and it was shown on Larry King Live and America's Most Wanted. Mitchell's family recognized the composite sketch and gave the police a photo of Mitchell that was broadcast nationally.
That's a good
for their
composite
family.
sketch right there.
And that's good for the family to step forward and be like, this is my son or my brother, and here's his picture.
Right.
So Mitchell, Barzy, and Smart were at a Walmart in Sandy, Utah, and 5 people called the police around the same time saying that they believed that they spotted Elizabeth Smart. A police officer approached Smart and asked her if she was Elizabeth, and she said she was. And Mitchell and Barzy were arrested. This is March 12th, 2003. Mitchell did not end up going to trial until 2010, so 7 years, because that's how long it took to determine if he was even fit to stand trial.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's because it's really hard to plead insanity.
And he managed to kind of do it for 7 years.
Wow.
So his defense was actually an insanity defense, which was rejected. And he was sentenced to life without parole.
Yeah, the thing is, like, he kind of knows what he's doing is wrong. He steals her.
He knows what he's doing is wrong.
Like, that's wrong.
He's kidnapping virgins to fight Satan, please. You know, kidnapping right there. You know that's wrong.
I mean, yeah, it's just okay.
So he was sentenced to life in prison. Now, his wife, Wanda Barzy, she was sentenced to 15 years for her crimes. And she was released from prison in 2018. Elizabeth Smart's father has stated that Elizabeth fears for the safety of her children, and she was very vocal protesting Barzy's release. And apparently, the number one reason she said she's still worried about Barzy is that Barzy still reads that book of Revelations that Mitchell wrote, which states that he needs to kidnap 350 wives to fight Satan. So because of that, Smart believes that she's going to continue trying to get
girls for him.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So she's like really the cult member
Barzy?
of his cult.
Yeah. Because she believes what he's saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Wow.
So that's the kidnapping of Elizabeth Smart. An attempted...
Thank God she got away.
Yeah. Oh, and
nobody else was kidnapped. Thank God.
And, you know, they really tried, I think, with, like, mind control and brainwashing. But she never broke her spirit or resolve. Because I remember hearing once, a long time ago, they would make her write in a journal, like, how great they were. And she would write in French how awful they were and how, like, her name was Elizabeth and, like, she couldn't wait to go home.
Smart.
She's a very smart girl.
Resourceful.
Totally.
Wow.
Well, this has been such a depressing episode.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch the second installment of fucking R. Kelly, man.
If I were you, I would just...
I'm just not going to watch
ice it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was totally facetious. Totally facetious.
Well, this has been Demi World. Thank you for listening. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Cyndi.
Bye.
Bye. This has been Demi World. You can follow us on Facebook at Demi World Podcast and Twitter at Demi World Cast. You can write us at demiworldpodcast@gmail. You can find the cast anywhere podcasts live or at our website, demiworld.net. And remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for listening.